Hey, welcome to Becoming a Powerhouse Brand podcast. I'm Jacquie Laws, personal brand visibility and empowerment mentor for heart-led, impact-driven entrepreneurs who know they are here to change lives with their magic and build a dream life by design while they do it. This is where we blend soul, strategy and subconscious work to help you stand out as the leader you already are. We talk identity shifts, confidence, energetics, and the real behind the scenes of building a brand that feels aligned, magnetic, and apologetically you. If you are ready to take center stage in your life and business, you are in the right place. Let's dive into today's episode. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. In today's episode, I'm doing another Ask Jacquie, and today's question has come in from Emma, who is a yoga teacher. And Emma says, "Hi Jacquie, I'm Emma and I've been teaching yoga for 8 years. I'm exhausted by social media." Oh my gosh, I've just had a pop up on my window. "I'm exhausted by social media. I feel like I'm constantly posting but not actually growing. Do I really need to be on Instagram to build a successful business?" I love this question. Now, as somebody who grew her first business on Instagram, over 90% of my clients came through Instagram. I would get regular DMs. My audience grew really fast on Instagram. But then I pivoted into a different kind of design business and things changed there because I wasn't speaking to an audience of customers. I was speaking to business owners. So I was going from B2C to B2B. I want you to know when you're listening to this today that there is no one size fits all when it comes to being visible. Just because one platform has worked really well for one person or for lots of people does not necessarily mean it's the right fit for you. So I want to ask you, is it a fear of being seen that is potentially coming up for you in terms of this particular platform? Is it that you think your content isn't strong enough? Because I know Instagram is a very visual platform. It used to be obviously only photos. It was only, I can't remember what year it was, they brought out video content, but it was all around photos. So you used to see these beautiful feeds with stunning photography and lovely imagery, whereas now it's predominantly reels and video movements. My gosh, what is wrong with my brain today? Video, moving imagery and everything. So it could be that there is a fear on just overwhelm because there is so many different types of content that you can create on there. It could also be you have been really consistent on there, you're posting, but you just feel like nobody is seeing you. Now, when it comes to Instagram, I love this platform as a platform. I'm a very visual person. I'm a creative person. So I've always loved Instagram over any other social media platform that I use. However, for me personally, for my business, Instagram has been my least performing business social media platform for my current business. However, I do use it as a shop window. So I think the best thing to look at is, where have your clients been coming from so far? What is working for you? Because when you're feeling in this stage of overwhelm from positioning yourself on social media, it's really good to focus on just one platform that feels good to you and build up your confidence in that, build up your reputation on that, and then start adding in another one. Now, I post on multiple platforms because it is my job to be current on all the different platforms, because that way I can see what is working, I can understand how the platforms work, I can see the content that is appearing, I can see how each individual platform is going to work for my clients. Now, I literally specialize in helping you to be visible online. I would be pretty bad at that if I didn't explore all these different platforms myself and know that actually this client I'm working with, TikTok would just be incredible for that person, as would YouTube. For this person, LinkedIn is going to be absolutely their number one focus. It is a no-brainer for them to be focusing on that. This person, it might be Instagram and doing Instagram lives and really building that community. If they want to build a community, then I might be directing them more to Facebook. So it's really about identifying what is going to be 11. It's going to be identifying what is the right fit for you. So if you feel exhausted by social media, I want you to first of all step back, because what can happen in this stage is you feel exhausted and then you can either completely come off of it altogether, you've just given up, you just don't want to post anymore, or you push through But either way, you've got a negative energy around that, which that energy is then not going to be put out there in the right way in order to speak to those ideal clients you want to be working with and attract the same energy back to you. So what I want you to do when you're feeling that overwhelmed by a particular platform, maybe it's all the platforms, maybe you're just so done with social media, I want you to sit back and think, okay, what is it that I don't like about this? Is it actually taking the time to create the content? If it's a time thing, okay, how can you make your life easier? Maybe you don't do carousels. Maybe you don't worry about polished content. Maybe you just talk to camera. Maybe you spend the next month focusing only on doing talking to camera reels, because that is going to take you far less time to do it. If you've got a good strong mission that you are sharing, if you've got a lot of expertise in what it is that you do, share that with your audience, talk to camera, because then people are going to connect with you, they're going to get to know your personality and what you're all about, and it makes your life so much easier because you can literally talk, add on the captions option, put in a little text, and then post it. And then you've got something out there that's actually helping you with your business instead of spending 4 hours creating one piece of content that might not get any visibility. Now, the other thing I want you to know is, for me, this has definitely been the case for me, and I know it has for a lot of other people in a similar stage of their business. But for me, my highest paying clients, my clients who were instantly like, right, Jacquie, can you tell me how I can work with you? Can I book a sales call with you? I'm ready. I've been following you for a while. Like, can I just book this thing? Almost all of those clients, if not all of them, have never once engaged in a piece of my social media content. Not once. So they watch. Now, I actually did a post on this a few days ago now, because I created a reel that was sharing my journey of motherhood and being an entrepreneur for 9 years and 5 months, I think it was the exact post. And I was talking about my journey, things that I've learned. Now, on Instagram, I had likes on TikTok and I had likes and engagement on Facebook. I had comments and everything, like a real interaction, like visibly on that social media platform. On Instagram, I did not get a single like on that post. I didn't get a single like and I didn't get a single comment. Now, here's what I want you to know about this. If you are being really intentional and you're sharing your experience, if you're sharing what it is that you do in a way that feels really good to you, and you're being really clear on how you help your clients and what your journey's been, people will be watching. There will be lurkers that are absorbing all of your information. They are watching your content. They don't necessarily need to engage, because actually the majority of high paying clients aren't the ones that are engaging in content. They don't have time to be sitting on social media liking and commenting on stuff. They will literally watch it, but they don't want to see their name put onto someone else's social media platform for a couple of reasons. One of them being that they don't want people bombarding them with messages, because as soon as you've put your kind of name against a caption on a social media post, you're then seen by other people, which then might lead to new conversations and DMs and sales pitches and things. So a lot of these people just don't do that. They post their own content and they will watch others, but they don't necessarily engage. Now, from this post, I actually screenshot this. I don't think I can't attach screenshots, which is really annoying, but I screenshot this. So this post, as of when I took this screenshot, which was 24 hours after I'd posted it. Now, I've not got a massive audience at all on Instagram, but just to give you an insight, I had 311 views on this particular reel, 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 saves, 0 reposts, absolutely nothing at all. But on that one post alone, I had 8 messages from other business owners since I posted it, because they saw that post and it resonated with them. 2 of those people have booked calls with me that I've got next week. And I've also got a warm lead that I already had who converted because she saw that same reel and it reminded her to go ahead. So it's not about the numbers. It's not about the my brain has gone completely blank. It's not about the metrics in terms of your engagement and who's commenting, who's liking, who's unfollowing, who's following. It's about you being really consistent and clear in your message, so that when somebody lands on your content, maybe there is somebody that has never heard of you, that isn't even a mutual friend of anybody in your connections, but for some reason one of your pieces of content has flagged up and it's got their attention. They've then clicked on that go to profile. If your entire profile is speaking to that person, it doesn't matter how many followers you've got. It doesn't matter how much engagement you've got. What matters is, how you have got your message out there and how you have positioned yourself. So, Emma, you are a yoga teacher. There are thousands, millions of yoga teachers out there, but what makes you different? It could be your journey. It could be how you teach yoga, why you teach yoga. Why did you even get into teaching yoga? Is there another hidden piece of magic that you can share? If you come from like a health background, if you come from a background where you absolutely weren't healthy at all, and now you've used yoga as a way to rebuild what it is that you do and to put yourself first and to create a healthy lifestyle, like what is it about you that makes you different to other yoga teachers? And it's normally your own personal journey, like how you've got into this. Share that with your audience, share your expertise, share why you love teaching yoga, what are the benefits of yoga, and also think about who your ideal client is. So if your ideal client is somebody that is already putting themselves first and is already looking to get healthier and be more consistent with that, then you need to be using different messaging to when you're trying to educate people into, okay, they've never done yoga before, maybe they should start. So it's about really focusing on who your ideal client is and making sure that you can speak directly to that kind of person. If you feel exhausted by social media, please feel free to take a break. You absolutely don't have to push your way through just to get a post out there. Now, what I love to share with my clients is you don't have to be in all the different places all the time. That's not what being visible is. Being visible is about aligning your brand, sharing your message, creating an impact from a place of integrity. And it's about building your own shop window. So when it comes to those visuals, which will be your website, your social media accounts, that very first impression, people will literally create an impression on what they think about you based on when they've landed on your profile or when they've landed on your website. So if it's outdated, if it's just not looking, I want to say the word professional, but I don't want to say the word professional because that can sometimes be taken as polished. Absolutely doesn't have to be polished, but it needs to look professional. It needs to look like, okay, this person's serious about what she does. She knows what she's doing. She's absolutely expert in what it is she's doing. She's got a professional looking brand. And I feel like I can really connect with this person. Now, I want to give you an example of this when I talk about professionalism when it comes to standing out as a brand. I feel like I'm going off on a bit of a tangent with this question, so I'm going to rein myself back in a minute, but I just want to share this little nugget here. When we got engaged, when my husband and I got engaged, I was looking for a wedding photographer and I already knew the kind of style I was looking for. I was a wedding photographer myself at the time, so I already had a really kind of creative, clear eye of what it was I was looking for. We were going for kind of a modern rustic, that doesn't really go, does it? Modern rustic, but it was a rustic with a modern contemporary twist anyway, style. So I already had in my head that I wanted someone that specializes in kind of these country, beautiful, stunning weddings. I didn't want like bright white overexposed. I didn't want anything like fine arty style. I wanted to have something that was really kind of earthy, warm. And I searched on so many different wedding photographers' websites. Now, bearing in mind, this is what is helping you to stand out in your particular industry. I don't even know how many websites I went on for wedding photographers in the area that we needed. Now, the photographer I actually came across didn't even live anywhere near where our venue was, but I just happened to come across her. And do you know what got me hooked from the very first thing? It was her homepage, and it had a coffee stain, like a mug had been left on the top of her website. Her name was actually Lola Rose Photography. I think she still does photography now. Really lovely photographer. Anyway, I went onto her website and I instantly, that just the feeling I had through her website was like this. Yeah, I love this. I loved her style of photography. I loved the layout. I loved that she had this coffee stain on the website. To me, it was literally speaking to me. And this is the importance of that first impression, because I went on so many different wedding photographer websites. I didn't even get to the pricing on any of these. So it was never even about the budget. It was about, I needed to find a photographer that ticked the boxes for what I was looking for. And then I would just look at, okay, I've found the photographer now. This has to work. Like, what are the prices? Okay, well, that's what we're doing. We're going with this option. So I want you to remember that when you can get your brand positioned in a way that is aligned to you, that helps you to stand out and speak directly to that client that already knows she wants to work with you or he wants to work with you, it makes your life so much easier. It allows your brand to do the heavy lifting of your marketing. Now, so many people rush into being visible and posting on all these different places before they've even worked on what their brand is and how they're going to position themselves. And what normally happens is you will get people that go into this spiral, this like exhausted spiral, because they're doing all the posting, they're getting stuff out there, they've done a website themselves on Wix, and they've done all this stuff, they've got everything there, but actually what they're lacking is they haven't got that whole brand, they haven't got their brand personality or their brand strategy, they haven't got what it is that they're here to do. They haven't got their messaging clear. They haven't even got their ideal client clear, even though they've done multiple ideal client practices. So when you can actually start to focus on bringing it all together and bringing your brand into one whole piece, then it makes your life so much easier, because you can do things like create your content pillars. So you know what kind of captions and what content to be creating. You know how to get yourself visible. You can then focus on what launches you're going to do. You can focus on your offers, how you're going to scale your business, and all of these different areas. So I truly believe that work on your brand, your personal brand, and as part of that it comes with like a confidence piece as well, because you are your personal brand. So it's all about working on you, your brand, your vision, your message, what you're here to create, and then spreading out in all these other areas. So that'll be things like scaling, growing a team, it will be automations, systems, email marketing, social media marketing, and all of these different assets. But if you can't, your brand is literally the heart of your entire business. So if you can bring it all back and focus on that, that will help you to connect the dots on maybe why you're feeling exhausted by social media. Because so often people just rush ahead because they think, right, I've got a business, I've got my website, I need to post on social media because that's how I'm going to get the clients. And then they're just rush, trying to juggle a million and one things running a business, but actually they've not built a brand. So what I would say to you, Emma, is bring it back to what it is you're here to create. What makes you different? Do that ideal client piece again, and just focus on what is it that you want to be creating with your business. Because if you feel like you're constantly posting but you're not actually growing, then you're focusing on the metrics and not about you positioning yourself as an expert in what it is that you're doing. So don't worry about how many times you're posting. Don't worry about how many likes you're getting, how many comments you're getting. Focus on, okay, what piece of content can I create that is going to show my audience what I'm all about, why I do yoga, what my yoga like means, what it's all about, where I'm based, how does it work, like what are the benefits of working with me for yoga, what is my journey, what is my expertise. You've got so many pieces of content that you can be sharing, and share it in a way that actually means that if somebody that is looking for a yoga teacher in your local area happens to come across your social media account, they're like, oh, amazing, like I love this person, I really connect with her. And you're making it more about you and your brand and why you are the person that they need. And you're not simply saying, I've got availability for my next yoga classes, who wants to book one? And oh, it's only this amount of money to book a block of yoga classes. You're then focusing on, you've got a service and you need to sell it, than building a brand. And that is the difference. Because if you're only sharing, I've got this thing, here's the link, here's how to buy, I've got spaces on this, I've got my next lot of block bookings available, all you're doing is then saying to people, this is what's currently available. But then that might be outdated when somebody comes across you in 2 months' time that just wants to have a look at your content and see, oh, okay, I really like this person, I love the kind of yoga she's doing, I love how she teaches, I love how she's been on this kind of journey, I love how she brings this holistic side of health, or whatever it is that makes you different. But share that online. But equally, it might even be that Instagram isn't the right fit for you. It might be that things like YouTube might be a really good fit for scaling a business. Maybe you're someone that is looking to create a yoga app. Maybe you're looking to create yoga classes online. Maybe you're looking to create a yoga course online. Think of where your business is going, and then what assets do you need to create for that? How can you be visible? How can you build up momentum for that to allow you to scale? Because it's not just about filling your classes. Sometimes it's about going bigger and thinking, okay, what can I do to scale, and how can I get that out there and be visible in a way that actually doesn't drain my energy? Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be living on Instagram, and you absolutely don't have to be. But it's about finding a way that works really well for you. But if anyone is listening to this today and just feels overwhelmed with knowing what platform is the right one for them in bringing their brand back to the heart of what it is that you do, if you don't even feel like you've got a brand but you've got all this stuff everywhere and everything just feels a bit messy, then drop me a message, because that's exactly what I do. I'm going to pop the link below for my brand audit. You can book one of those, and that is a deep dive into looking at where you're currently at and giving you some pointers that you can go away with that will help you to just bring everything back to you and give you some clarity on, okay, this platform is going to work really well for me. Let's look at your content pillars. Let's map out what kind of content you can be creating, how you can be visible in a way that works for you without the overwhelm, because you don't need to be overwhelmed. Being visible isn't about overwhelm. It absolutely isn't. It's about you being really intentional with how you're showing up to build your brand so it does the heavy lifting for you. Because once you've got a brand that's positioned you as a leader, then it means that when people come across you, whether it is through networking or conversations, they can instantly see what it is that you do and how you're different to anybody else. And you might not have even posted for 2 months. It's not about constantly being online. It's about you having your brand shop window, wherever that may be, in all these different places, aligned to what it is you're creating and helping you to stand out. So if you would like to book one of those calls, I will pop the link in below so you can find out more. That is like the first way to start working with me. And then I obviously have my full day VIP days where we can look at your everything in your brand and your branding. But these calls are really good for somebody that's just needing some clarity on what next step to take. And then I obviously have my She Who Roars 3 and 6 month program if you're looking for more ongoing support. But I'll pop the link below for the call if you would like to get that booked in. But I hope this has helped today, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.